What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about the most GOATED UFC title runs that we as fans have been missing recently. Some of these will just be my opinion, and some of these I think will be pretty unanimous. Fighters who had the belt at one point, whether they defended it for a long time or maybe lost it pretty quickly. Just fighters that we miss having the belt and miss seeing at the top of the sport. Some of these guys will be retired. Some of them will still be fighting, but just not quite at that same peak. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments which title reigns you are missing. I think I've got 11 total. I was going to just do an even 10, but I didn't know which one of the 11 to get rid of. So maybe one of you guys will be in the comments and say, why the fuck do you miss this title run? So I don't know, maybe get rid of one of them. But I've got 11. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you haven't already. I've been doing some decent videos recently, I feel like. If you haven't already, watch my fucking hour-long top 20 strikers list. I'm going to do a top 20 grapplers list too. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the video, starting off with the flyweight title reign that I've been missing. First fighter at flyweight, Deiveson Figueiredo, the god of war, Deus de Guerra. I miss this guy as champ, bro. Like, I love Pantoja, man, but I work so hard for these, you guys. It's good fighters, you know. It's good mans, guys. It's tough fight, you know. I love Pantoja, bro. Like, I'm a big fan of Pantoja. Are you proud of me now, Dad? Are you proud of me? I personally, I really like Pantoja. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of him. I know there's a lot of people rooting for him to get slept by fucking Kai Sakura. I think a lot of people want him to lose the belt, because it is starting to kind of feel like the early, maybe I'm bugging, but let me know if it's starting to kind of feel like parts of Demetrius Johnson's title reign, in terms of some people's outlook of like, oh, this is boring, this guy's just beating everyone, he's having to rematch people, it's just dead, like, can someone fucking beat him? And it feels like when, like, Cejudo was fighting, I don't know, I forget how far along his title, I think it was much further into the title reign than Pantoja is now, but when DJ fought Cejudo, and it seems like, maybe I'm bugging, but like some people were just like, can we have someone new? Because otherwise, Dana was like fucking borderline about to shut down the division, and he probably would have if DJ had got the nod in the rematch. But I don't know why I'm talking about DJ. Figueiredo, though, I'm talking about why I like Pantoja, I don't get the hate, so that's what I was talking about. But personally, I still do like Deiveson Figueiredo, and after him losing last weekend, you know, I'm glad he's up at bantamweight. This is not me calling for him to return to flyweight. I think at this stage of his career, bantamweight is definitely the move for him. But dude, it wasn't a long reign. It wasn't an incredibly long reign, but this guy's fights for the belt, like Subban Perez, bro, 2020 COVID Figgy was GOATED as well. Like, also, like, the guy at the rise to the top as well. Like, this dude did smoke not, like, finish him, but, like, no one finishes Pantoja, but he did drop Pantoja bad. I think he's the only... Fun fact, this is so retarded. Deiveson Figueiredo is the only guy to drop... he's the only guy to drop Pantoja, he's the only guy to drop Cheeto, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the only guy to drop Petr Yan. And guess who he didn't drop? Cody Garbrandt. You heard it here first. Cody Garbrandt, Iron Chin. No, but Figgy, bro, this guy was just fun as hell. The wars with Moreno were sick. And yeah, like, having a guy, like a notorious knockout artist and one of the hardest pound-for-pound hitters in the sport at flyweight just brought some excitement to the division, because it was like, okay, Cejudo won the belt with a kind of robbery decision and then fucked off. He defended against a weight drain TJ and then pissed off. But, like, we had, like, a actual champion, all right? We had Figgy, actual champion, smoked Joseph Benavidez twice. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Figgy reign, it was a short-lived one, but it was a fucking sick title reign during COVID as well. Was just cool to see Figgy just knocking people out, finishing people in the title picture at flyweight. Just not something that happens very often. I still like Pantoja. I'm enjoying his title reign. I enjoy a hard worker, you know, work so hard for these guys. I enjoy someone who's clearly putting in the work and deserves to be at the top, just enjoying the fruits of their labor. And yes, he's gone a few more decisions, but people are acting like this guy's turned into just the most boring fighter ever. Like, the Usyk fight was relatively fun, and the Moreno fight was a sick fight. The Royval fight was a cool first 2 rounds, and then it kind of got dead. But for the most part, and before the belt, like, this guy was just smoking everyone. So I think we need to put more respect on Pantoja. I am kind of worried he's going to get randomly chinned by Sakura, but hopefully he wins. It would be cool to see Kai, like, do well in the UFC, but I just want Pantoja to stay as champ. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another title reign. Next guy that I've been missing is DJ, right? Now, again, he's retired now, so we can give respect to a legend of the sport, but recently, bro, one blonde albino Mr. Flukas Glazy has been disrespecting my guy DJ way too much, putting this man at like number 12 on the GOAT list. Yes, I know he didn't beat a fucking murderer's row of like former champions. Guess what? You can't beat former champions if you're the first fucking champion in the division, buddy. Like, I'm sorry, if DJ had lost and then won the belt back against those people, guess what? He would have like 5 former champions on his resume. Or if he'd come along 5 years later and then just started his reign then, he would have beat all of those guys still and then still had a bunch of, like, champions. So sorry that this guy was the first champion and just happened to defend his belt 11 times. Oh, yeah, no other champion has to fight guys coming off tough and shit. I mean, GSP fought Matt Serra. Like, it's not much better. But, like, yeah, he had to fight a guy off top because he just cleaned out the entire fucking division. Like, they were trying to look at super fights with TJ Dillashaw and trying to get guys in from other promotions to make it, like, because he just beaten everyone. So I think there needs to be more respect on DJ. That's greatness, in my opinion, is clearing out a fucking division to the point where they have to do a reality show to find someone for you to fight. Like, that shows dominance. So DJ, at times, he might not have been the most entertaining, but I feel like most of the time, this dude was pretty fun. Like, he's finishing guys, he's tossing fucking dudes up in the air and subbing them. Like, he's getting last-second submissions, he's getting knockouts. This guy had, like, I think he had the same amount of finishes in his championship reign as John Jones did the light heavyweight. There you go, fun fact for you. Maybe someone fact-checked that, but, like, Jones went to decision with DC the first time, Gustafsson the first time, OSP, Santos, Smith, Reyes. Like, DJ, bro, this guy was getting finishes. Like, he obviously went decision a few times, but he was consistently and more often than not in his championship reign getting finishes. And I wish we got to see him stick around. Like, I know it worked out good for him, and I'm sure he's not upset with the deal because he was disrespected by the UFC, but I wish this guy had stayed in the UFC. Like, yeah, okay, Masvidal wouldn't have got his KO against Askren, whatever. But, like, bro, he lost a robbery decision to Cejudo and then got fucked off. And, like, we could have seen him versus Pantoja, we could have seen him versus Figgy, we could have seen him versus Moreno. And if he'd beaten those guys, or if he'd won back against Cejudo, which I think he would have in a trilogy, that would have just given him a chance to extend his greatness. But in a way, his career, in the eyes of a lot of people, was almost cut off there because, like, one championship, whatever. But you could have, like, he would have had a chance to even further get his greatness up and beat Cejudo in a trilogy more definitively, and then beat maybe a Moreno or a Pantoja or a Figgy. And if he'd done that, we are talking about a GOAT of the sport. Again, though, if he'd beaten those guys, Lucas would still be saying he hasn't beaten any former champions, bro. Because at the time, obviously, they then wouldn't have won the belt. But yeah, I think more respect on DJ, bro. This guy was actually one of the better UFC champions. Reasonably active, fought everyone, wasn't ducking contenders as much as Dana White will say he ducked TJ Dillashaw. We all know what happened there. But anyway, let's move on to the bantamweight division. Next up, we got Petr Yan. This dude, we need him as champion again, bro. Actual sick fighter, for one. Sick fighter, cool style, actually entertaining. Like, we haven't had a champion like that since. Like, since Yan, we've had fucking, even, like, former champions. Like, Dillashaw was cool. Cruz, did his outside thing. But, like, who's just smoking guys like Yan was? Like, realistically, we know he smoked Aljo. He smoked him too much to the point where he had another man on his knees in front of him and then just kneed him in the face, which was retarded. I need to do, like, a video, like, the dumbest decisions in MMA or, like, decisions that changed MMA history or some shit like that. That'd be cool. But Yan, he just systematically broke down Jose Aldo, fucking killed Faber before he won the belt as well, fights Aldo for a vacant belt, wins that. I love our Cejudo. I'm retiring, Dana. Thanks, Uncle Dana. I'm happy with my career, Triple C's out, guys. And then Dana's like, all right, what's next for the title? Yeah, we're booking a fucking title fight next month. Cejudo, we don't fucking need your midget ass. Fuck off. I don't know. I love that Dana's just did not give a fuck about it. Like, when you pan to Dana, it wasn't like if, like, Conor or, like, Jones retired or something. Like, Dana just, like, nods and was like, yeah, cool. And then immediately just book Yan. Smokes Aldo. Was killing Aljo as well. Rematch, fuck that, who cares? But he beat Sandhagen easily in between that. Or not easily, but had a sick fight. This guy's having, like, technical wars. Like, you don't see that very often. You either see, like, technique, but it's boring decision, or it's, like, just a scrappy war with no technique. But this dude is having like actual back and forth technical fights whilst also like actual scrapping. Like Yan was, in my opinion, still one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport, still one of the best strikers in the sport, and I would love to see this guy get the belt back. Not a long title reign, but one that we need back in our lives. Anyway, let's move on though to the featherweight division. Featherweight division, Volk, we need you back, Volk. Please somehow find a way to beat Ilya. It would be so amazing. Not that I don't like Ilya. Like, Ilya's a sick champion. Like, great fighter, fun as hell. It's not that I don't like Ilya or that, oh, save us from this boring champion, like if it was like Movzar who was champ. But bro, Volk, man, just win the belt back. It would be so good. And then, you know, the videos that would be pumping out from the Lucas Tracy channel, cementing this guy as the greatest fighter of all time, 100%. But no, Volk, it would just be so good. Like, it's just because it doesn't happen very often for fighters to lose their belt and get it back. Especially at like 35, 36, which I think he would be when they fight again. It will be like 36, closing probably like halfway to on the wrong side of 36, gone on 37. So if he can win the belt back, it would be the best thing ever. Like, I would love Volk winning the belt back. It would be so good. I don't think it'll happen, but this guy's title reign was just sick. It was like, he just, like, progressively built in the fans' minds and gained more appreciation from the fans. Like, after the Holloway first fight, which was a clear win for him, people still didn't like him. Rematch didn't help his case, because yes, it was close. I still think he won the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, is what it is. He goes out there, beats Ortega, and then the Ortega fight's when he got respect, really, because I think people were like, okay, fair enough, you beat Holloway, but then, oh, you robbed him. But then when he went out there and beat Ortega into a fucking pulp and survived his best submissions, that was like, okay, this dude's fun, this dude's, like, he's down to fight, he will go for it, he's not a fucking quitter, he's tough as fuck, and I think that's when Volk started to get respect. And then, obviously, the Zombie and Holloway, I know people talk about, like, the best back-to-back wins in terms of, like, name value. Obviously, Zombie's not up there in terms, like, Zombie and Holloway back-to-back. It's not, like, that good. But in terms of the best back-to-back performances, the two fucking performances that Volk put up against Zombie and Holloway back-to-back might be probably two of the best, apart from, like, but even I think Islam beating Oliveira and Volk back-to-back, it's more impressive name value, but if you look at the performance that he put up against Volk the first time, wasn't quite as impressive. But, like, if you look at the two most flawless performances in UFC history for the belt, I don't think you can find two back-to-back that are more flawless than Volk absolutely masterclassing Zombie and then 50-45 in Holloway. And then, obviously, the close fight with Islam, challenging himself, you know, stand up for yourself. Fucking, I took a risk. It didn't work out, but I'll go back down to 145, and these featherweights better fucking watch out. And then he goes and just smokes Yair. Like, this dude was a sick champion. Toporia's great, but I would just give a lot to see Volk win that belt back one more time. Even if he loses it again and never fights again after that, just give me Volk with the gold around his waist one more time, and that'll make me very happy. Let's move on, though, to the lightweight division. Lightweight, if you've been a viewer of the channel for any more than, like, 2 weeks, you would know that I'm a massive Charles Oliveira fan, and I want to see this guy win the belt back. I don't think it'll happen, but this guy's 2 or 3 fight run of Chandler, Poirier, and Gaethje back to back. Again, not the most impressive name value wise, very impressive name value wise, but not like all-time greats. But in terms of the 3 in a row most entertaining fights ever, I don't think anyone's put those numbers up or put that level of excitement or entertainment up since probably Robbie Lawler with the Rory McDonald, fucking, what's the cunt's name? Natural Born Killer, fucking, oh, I'm retarded. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, Carlos Condit, there we go. Like, and then whoever else he beat in between that. But, like, people aren't doing that level of fucking craziness. I guess you could say Islam with the, like, Volk, Oliveira, Volk, Poirier. I guess if you want to put both Volks, that was sick. But not, like, just straight wars. Like, those 3 fights from Oliveira were some of the most fucking fun we've had watching MMA. And he stayed active in that time. Like, he fought those 3 fights in a calendar year. Or within 365 days, I should say. So we got a relatively active champion who was just having barn burners, and it was just fun to watch. So Oliveira, we need you back. I don't think it'll happen, but honestly, Islam, go beat Arman and fuck off. Go beat Arman and fuck off to welterweight, and then Oliveira's chances increase dramatically, because I wouldn't mind him to beat Arman 5 rounds in a rematch. I'm not saying I would definitely be confident, but I'd be a lot more confident than against Islam. I think everyone can agree that Oliveira's chances, if you say what's the chance Oliveira wins the belt back right now, I think people are probably saying like 20%. If Islam fucks off to welterweight, I think those chances literally go up to 50%. And it's just like, can he beat Arman? If not, no. If yes, he wins the belt. But anyway, let's move on to the next champion. Welterweight, Usman, Kamaru Usman. Thoughts on Usman? Little Maltese head. Fucking bald fuck. I slapped the nose off him as well, you know that. Usman, though, this dude was actually one of the more underappreciated champions, and I think everyone is starting to have that conversation of like, damn, bro, Usman, we're missing out on Usman. Like, I know the Woodley fight was not fucking the most thrilling affair. I know the first Masvidal fight, but like, apart from that, the 2 Colby fights were amazing. He fucking slept Masvidal, pieced up Burns with the jab after getting dropped early. The Leon fight was not that fun until he got KO'd, but still, 90 fucking percent of the, not 90, but like 80, most of this guy's championship fights were sick. Like, this guy was a fun fighter, not like war dominant, like, not like war brawling Oliveira style, but like just dominance, going for it, finishes as well. Like, you're a wrestler now. Like, this dude was a wrestler, and then he's like, fuck that, I'm just gonna be a striker and KO Burns and finish Colby in the first fight and sleep Masvidal. Like, this guy was sick. It makes me long. The Leon and Bilal back-to-back title reigns make me long for the days of Usman. It's like you're having a nightmare or something, and then you just like, it gets, I don't even know what I'm saying here, but like, you're having a bad dream, and then you remember back to the days, you get reminded of the good old days, and you reminisce, and you're like, you never thought, during the Usman reign, I don't think people thought we'd be reminiscing. I thought during the Usman reign, people were reminiscing of like the Lawler reign or something, or even the fucking GSP reign at this point, or the Woodley reign. But no, now we're with back-to-back fucking Bilal and Leon champions. I mean, Shavkat will probably win the belt. That'll be cool. And then my guy Prates is winning the belt 2026. Trust. Write it down. It's not a guess. It's not an assumption. It's a knowledge. It's a reality. It's a confirmation. No, but Usman, bro, I wouldn't even mind if he won the belt back. I don't think he will, but again, this guy was so much better as a champion than Bilal and Leon. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, I've mentioned him a few times, Robbie Lawler. Again, probably one of the less like technical, skilled, fucking well-rounded champions. He was still great, but just a brawler, like just a fun fighter, just someone who you could count on having a scrap. This guy had like 3 fucking Fight of the Year candidate nominations. I think he won it, like, did he win it once or twice? But yeah, the 3 fight run of McDonald, Carlos Condit, and then whoever the fuck else he fought. Don't call me a casual, I just can't remember in my brain right now. But he fought McDonald. Both fights in the McDonald fights were sick. Obviously, the second one was the iconic picture at the end of the 4th round. But, bro, yeah, again, not like the most dominant champion, not the most fucking skilled, well-rounded guy, but just a fun fighter who would just scrap. And 5th round Lawler, we all know, was the mythical fighter of the welterweight division back then. Anyway, let's move on to the middleweight division. Middleweight, I had to think about this for a bit, because I was like, do I just go with like Anderson Silva? But nah, that's boring. Whittaker. This guy, Bobby Knuckles, again, short reign, didn't actually officially defend the belt, but the fights with Romero were nuts. The lead up to the title run as well, the middleweight run of Whittaker was amazing. And again, not like the most pure fucking all-out brawler, but those Romero fights were sick. He gave himself to those fights, and I do believe that like the version that fought Izzy, while I think he then did go on to get better, just like physically wise, I don't think Whittaker was at his best fighting Izzy. Like, and I think we know that, because then he had a competitive fight with him in the rematch, and he tuned up Vittori, and he beat Cannonier, and he beat Till. But like, that was like it was like the Holloway beating like Yair and Cater, of like him going like, I lost, all good, let me just fucking smoke everyone else. And so yeah, that's why Whittaker's, I think, still one of the most underappreciated guys in the sport. Not even as a champion, but just in general. Like, Whittaker should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. I should do a video, like, guys, like a tier list of, like, in the Hall of Fame, like, definitely, or should be, or maybe, or, like, definitely not. Some shit like that. And I think Whittaker's a guy who probably won't end up in the Hall of Fame in terms of the, like, the fighter's wing. He might end up for the fight with Romero, I would assume. Even though that fucking should be already in there. If it's not already. But Whittaker, as his own fighter, should definitely be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, because he just ran, like, the middleweight division as the second guy for years. So yeah, it was unfortunate that he never really solidified himself as, like, the number one guy. But in our eyes, you know, Bobby Knuckles, always a great and always an underappreciated champion. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the light heavyweight division. Dude, like, I'm happy with Pereira's champ. I think he's great. But I miss the tism. And he didn't even defend the belt. It's not even a title reign. He just won the belt. But I miss the fucking autism of Yuri Prochazka having the most cooked, retarded, backwards fight ever with Glover, where he got rocked in the fifth round of a title fight. We see Yuri Prochazka, the one who gets rocked by Glover, and then Yuri then gets the submission against the fucking best grappler in the division at that time. Like, what the fuck was that fight? But Yuri, bro, just the tism was so good. You know, we were just in awe of the tism, as you would say. And Yuri was incredible. Like, fucking Ozdemir, KO, Reyes, spinning back elbow, spinning elbow KO. I'm recording this at 2 a.m. And yeah, bro, this guy was just autistic as fuck, and then he injured himself, and then it was tough. But even, like, the Rakic fight was just reminded me of, like, the potential of how cooked it was that this guy was an undisputed champion. How retarded he fights. It was so good. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the heavyweight division. Anytime I give credit to a black fighter in these videos, everyone in the comments is like, hey, Left Lane, you're not slick, bro. We know what you're doing. But, like, nah. All jokes aside, I'm totally not doing that so that if someone from my school finds my channel, I can be like, yo, look, all these Somali kids in my school, see, I like black people, yeah? I'm joking. I'm delirious. This is not me in a mental state. But, no, I'm all about equality. But Francis Ngannou, bro, this guy was actually a sick champion. Like, we didn't see too much out of him, and the Gane fight wasn't amazing, but we know all the circumstances going into that. The UFC was literally just threatening to fucking, like, cut him, or not cut him, but, like, the whole negotiation bullshit. And he had 2, like, torn fucking MCLs going into that fight. So Ngannou, like, credit to him, but, like, the Stipe KO and also the rebuild after the first Stipe fight was pretty cool to watch. So, and it's less that I'm like, oh, I wish Ngannou was champion now. Like, I'm happy with Aspinall's being the real champion. Obviously, Jones, not anyone's real champion, unless you're gay. Or a wife beater. I mean, you can be both. It could go hand in hand, I'm not sure. I'm not saying I want Ngannou as champion. I just want him back in the UFC. Now, I know it's not his fault. Like, I know the UFC, I know he had some demands. It kind of is his fault, let's be honest. But fair enough. He did his thing and he went and go boxed and he's done well for himself. But Ngannou in the UFC, not even as champion, but I want to see this guy back in the fucking UFC. Like, it ain't happening, but if it did, it'd be sick. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the heavyweight division. Also, why the fuck did I say that at the start? I should have cut that out. I'll start, but, bro, in honor of his retirement, bro, Stipe, old man Stipe, this dude as a champion was actually cool. Now, maybe he only fought once a year, so fair enough. That part of it probably wasn't great. But that's heavyweight, bro. Like, realistically, heavyweights are inactive as fuck. What was I gonna say? Stipe, bro, this guy's run in whenever the fuck his run was, when he beat Verdum, I think it was Verdum, Arlovski, Verdum, and JDS all by KO. Oh no, it was Overeem. It might have been like Overeem, Arlovski, and Verdum all by KO in 1 year. I forget which year it was. Might have been like 2016 or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. 2017, whatever. But, like, this dude was on a run and, like, actually getting fucking KOs and not being a blob. Like, he saved us from the blob era of heavyweight. I mean, there weren't that many blobs as champions at heavyweight, but, like, it just showed, like, yes, see how this guy's in shape and knocking people out? That's the standard for heavyweight. Now, that hasn't been upheld because we have Shamil Gaziev as a ranked fighter, but Bro, Stipe, I think his reign is highly underappreciated, and he was, again, disrespected quite a bit by the UFC, and I love how Dana's like, it's all about respect with these champions, you know, that's, the Stipe fight, it's a respect thing. Like, you don't give a fuck about your champions, you cut DJ, coming off one robbery loss, or traded him, whatever. But like, he clearly does not care about half of his champions. But anyway, that's Stipe. I think big fan of Stipe, and one of the better title reigns, or not one of like the best, but like one of the more underappreciated, underrated. Anyway, that'll be the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, follow my Instagram as well. Go vote as well on these polls that I've got up on my community page. Round 1's over. We're down to round 2. Top 16 UFC strikers now. I started at 32, so put your votes in and you can determine who the best striker is, and I'll do a video once the full results are out. But anyway, goodbye, guys. Arrivederci, buonanotte, fucking bon nuit. How else do you say good night in other languages? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, goodbye, guys. Peace out.